Oh, I don't know. I don't know if the water was so good. It might be so good. Oh, I talk about a lot of habits. And a lot of times I talk about hydration as a habit. But to be honest with you, drinking water is something I've kind of not been as consistent at as I'd like. And I've gotten away from drinking water. I think it's just my schedule's changed, and this is just a bunch of excuses. So I'll admit it up front. It's a bunch of excuses. I'm spending less time at Starbucks, and at Starbucks, I always get a big ice water and drink that, and I'll get a refill of coffee, but then I'll usually get some water and chug that down. But I've been going to Starbucks less. I've got two little babies, and here comes more excuses. You got to be careful where you put your water cups because they'll knock them over. I don't know. Life's gotten in the way of me staying hydrated like I'd like, so I'm going to drink a little more water. Hello, Not Original. Hello, Hortons. Hello, Lush. Hello, Miss Tokyo Trouble. William Walker. Robert Walton. User SB. User and User. Colin. And there's two Collins in my life. Lost in the 60s. Robert Willocks. Florence Dorsky. And Priscilla Cardenas. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. My name is Ken Tracy, and this is Stay at Home with Ken. Stay at Home with Ken, which is a spinoff of my regularly scheduled Coffee with Ken show, which is a show I discovered out of necessity. What do they say? The mother of invention is necessity. And I guess Coffee with Ken got invented out of necessity. I needed somebody to talk to and a safe place to talk. Because 4.5 years ago, I was struggling. I was hurting. I was living in a dark apartment. I was missing my dog. I was missing my family. I was missing the woman of my dreams, my house, my patio. I was just missing a lot of things and had a negative self voice and started realizing that something had to change. And I also realized that talking about my stuff made me feel a little bit better. So I started talking live, and people started watching. And here I am 4.5 years later doing variations of the show. I do a first sip video every morning when I have my first sip of coffee. I do thoughts from the gym video, where after I work out, I go and just kind of dump my thoughts on you, the audience, on anyone that wants to listen. And I currently have my stay at home edition. Reason I call it Stay at Home with Ken is because I was a realtor for 17 years, left it about a year ago. Decided I'd had enough and didn't want to do it anymore and didn't feel I was contributing to the world in any great way and left the business. Didn't know what I wanted to do when I grew up. I say that tongue in cheek because I'm 55 years old. Started working at Target as an entry level position, just stocking shelves in the cereal aisle. And that was kind of interesting. Good morning, Sandy Shepard. That was kind of interesting. Taught me some things, taught me I didn't want to stock shelves the rest of my life. And I continued with Coffee with Ken during that whole process. And no matter where I've lived in the last 4.5 years, my relationship status, my dog ownership status, my life status, one thing has been a couple things have been extremely consistent about me. I've instilled good habits. I try and instill good habits. And I've managed somehow during it all to hold on to this Coffee with Ken show. So thank you so much for joining. It's Saturday morning. And I didn't get to why it's called Stay at Home, but it is Saturday morning. I'm going to show you out my back window. We got a little bit of snow out there. First real snowfall we've had this year. Probably got about 2 inches. And hey, thank you for sending me the heart, Sandy Shepard. I appreciate that. Got about 2 inches of snow, and thank you for the rose. Took Holly on a really nice dog walk this morning, and she's so excited when the snow falls. It's kind of creates a totally different world for both her and I, and makes the world, our neighborhood, seem so different. Just walking through it this morning, again, kind of felt dreamlike. the sounds of the world are quieter in the snow. And obviously it looks different and everything's brighter and the snow's in the tree and, you know, life's so pretty. Happy Saturday to you, Reginald Malarkey. How are you? But anyway, I want to get back to why it's called Stay at Home with Ken. I again was stocking shelves from at a super Target from from February to September. Knew I didn't want to do that anymore. Had a bad knee. Various reasons left that. Dove in to content creation. As is most things, content creation is a lot harder of a business than I thought. And as most businesses are, it's challenging. There's a lot of competition. You got to be extremely consistent. You got to be good at what you do. And I think provide something the audience wants to watch, most importantly. So I try, and I'm doing my best, and I'm plowing forward. A few months back, my wife got offered a job she couldn't resist. She was excited about, seemed to fit her personality and her skill set perfectly, and she's doing it. And I got two little babies, so 4 days a week I'm at home with my little babies, and I've got three stepkids, and I've got two older girls from a previous marriage, so I have my hands fairly full here at home. Hello, Miss Hampton. GC Mafia asked if I saw the Taylor Swift house in Naperville over Christmas. I did not. I am aware of it. I have a buddy that lives in that neighborhood, and it's probably only a mile and a half from where I sit. I don't really understand what the big hubbub is about somebody that did a Taylor Swift themed Christmas house. But apparently there were long lines of traffic in the neighborhood, and apparently it got put on national news, which I think is funny. I guess Taylor Swift is probably the biggest celebrity or biggest star, you know, at least in America right now, maybe the world. You know, I can't name one of her songs, not one. I think she had an album, 1989. My wife's a big fan. My daughters are big fans. Yeah, I don't know. She's probably not designing her music for 55-year-old men that live in Illinois. Thank you so much for following the creator, Shelly. I so appreciate that. I have a lot of fun doing this. I've been on TikTok for just over 2 years. I guess probably 24 months almost now. My audience grows a little bit every day. I put these videos on various social media platforms, and my audience kind of grows on those every day as well. It's amazing to me. I mean, it's amazing to me because I thought I'd be damn good at everything I tried, and I'm never an overnight success at anything. Good morning, Mama G. I'm never a overnight success at anything, but I can be really determined and usually find success the same way the tortoise finds success, slow and steady. And it's funny, I call myself the tortoise and slow, and I was, I don't know, if I had any great athletic achievements in life, it was running, and I was always a fast runner and ran a bunch of marathons. But I still think over time, I think persistence wears down resistance, and consistency wins out over talent in the long run. And again, I'm usually fairly good at most things I try, but my strongest suit is being consistent and keeping my nose to the grindstone and getting up every day and having a smile on my face and having a good vibe and a positive attitude. Hello, RJ and Brian Walker. Thank you so much for following the live creator. Anybody else that's new to my show, please follow my page on TikTok. I'm slowly clawing my way to 10,000 subscribers. But boy, it's like running through molasses getting this last 1,000, I'll tell you what. So I appreciate anybody that's new today that subscribes or hops on another social media platform and follows me there. RJ, who's just joined, wants to know what the coffee is. We have not gotten to the coffee, and I'll tell you what. I will tell you what. I'm not drinking out of my coffee with Ken mug today. I went up and I just laid my two babies down for bed, and put one in our room and one in their room, and set up the pack and play. And I brought my coffee mug, my coffee with Ken mug, upstairs because I wanted to be drinking my coffee, obviously, while I'm setting up my pack and play. Who wouldn't? Put it down, set up the pack and play, got the babies in their spots, got the babas in the hands and the pacifier in the other, covered them up with blankies, turned on the noise machine, scurried out of the room, and realized I'd left my coffee with Ken mug in our room. But the show must go on, as they say, and the show is going on under a different mug. Rachel hopped on. I don't run into you anymore. Guess our planets are out of rotation. Good to see you. Well, thank you for saying that, Rachel. I hope you're all well. I hope you're well. I've been hanging out at a different Starbucks, to be honest with you. But anyway, for those that have been watching a while, you know, it's not just a show about me talking, but a lot about it is a show about me talking. For those that have been watching a while, you know it's also a show about me sharing my love of coffee. And with that in mind, I have a fairly hot cup of coffee that I poured probably 12 minutes ago before my show started, but I'm excited to take my first sip. I had it covered, so I'm hoping it's pretty hot. I hope wherever you are, whatever you're doing, that you have a hot cup of coffee in front of you as well. Cheers to us. It's the Sumatra. For about a week and a half, I was only drinking the Sumatra and the Yukon blend, two unflavored coffees, and it was kind of driving me crazy. I'm a man that likes a little spice in his life, a little flavor. I just made a breakfast burrito with eggs and cheese, a tortilla, and dumped a lot of green salsa out and sour cream and was dipping the tortilla in. Well, I'm going to tell you, I'm not a great cook, but I can make a mean tortilla. And you have it in this, I don't know if it's a guacamole salsa, but it's hot and it's green and it's awesome. And made it so good. What is my point? Oh, I like a little spice in life. And this really doesn't have a whole lot to do with spice, but I ran out and got a couple variety flavors of coffee, the gingerbread and the peppermint mocha, and I've been drinking them like a madman over the last week. And feels good to have a pot of the Sumatra and a cup of the Sumatra in my hand. So let's have a little more. RJ, thank you so much for sharing the live. RJ also asked if I've shoveled. I have not shoveled. I'm not totally sure I'm going to. The temperature right now is in the low 30s, and the temperature over the next several days is supposed to be in the low 30s. And if we get a sunny day or a couple degrees warmer, all the snow is going to melt, and there will be no need to shovel. If it doesn't, it's going to turn into a sheet of ice, and I'm going to regret this decision. I have a snowblower. It's buried in the back corner of my garage. As my wife and I were talking about today, our garage is much messier than we'd like. But the snowblower's in the back corner of the garage. There's not a heck of a lot of snow. It might be 1.5 inches on the ground. So I'm going to let God do his work and melt it off. It would be my anticipation. Christy, good morning to you. Jimmy says it's a beautiful day in Pensacola, Florida. He's just getting up. Jimmy, it's 11 o'clock in Pensacola, Florida. What are you just getting up for? Are you one of my stepkids, or are you a teenager or something, a tween? I don't know what it is with tweens. And I know it's Christmas break, but my stepdaughter came out of her room for the first time at 6 o'clock the other night. Seems a little late to be rolling out of your room. I don't believe she has a refrigerator in there. So I don't know if she was sleeping the whole day. And if she went to the washroom, she must have done it quietly, so I didn't hear her walking around. But yeah, no, it's amazing. I don't know. Do kids sleep that long? Do they just have nothing to do? It's Christmas break. Their friends may be on vacation, so why get up, or why not just lay in bed? And I think what it is, and we were talking about it the other day, when I was a kid, we didn't have iPhones. And we certainly didn't have cable, and we certainly didn't have TVs in our room. And we knew lights were supposed to be off, or we're supposed to be in our bed at whatever time, say 10 o'clock. And I remember nights, Sunday night, I think it was, that a TV show from the 70s came on called Kung Fu, so, starring David Carradine. And pretty interesting show, pretty good show, I think. And Steve and I would be up late watching it, trying to listen for our parents so they wouldn't be, we'd hear them if they were creaking. We'd turn off the TV and run into our bedroom real quick so they wouldn't catch us. But today, kids can sit on their iPhone all day, or, both of my older ones have TVs in their room, hooked up to cable and everything they could ever want. And I think they both have video game machines. And it's like living in your own apartment, the bedrooms today. And outside of, neither of them have washrooms, and I hope neither have refrigerators, although we have a mini fridge that's not being used in the garage right now that both are lobbying for. I don't think we should give it to either of them. If we gave them a fridge, A, the rooms would just be messier than they already are, and B, we'd never see them, although on some days. And if you have teens, you know what I mean when I say this. It might be better not to see them on some days. So let's have a little more coffee. Oh, so I'm so relieved that the kids are quiet. I brought my dog Holly into the kitchen with me. She has a bad habit of barking at every dog walking by. I live on a corner on a street that gets a lot of people walking by in a neighborhood that's got a lot of dogs, a lot of dog walkers, and Holly likes to greet every dog she sees through the window with loud barks, very much risking my peace and sanity and the sleep of my children, which is all interrelated, if you know what I mean. And we shut the gates. We have baby gates throughout our house, which makes having a dog a little more challenging because she doesn't have thumbs. So using her paws, it's very hard for her to figure out how to open and close the gates and let herself in and out of various rooms that she's shut out of. And, she always wants to be in a room wherever I am. Which can be challenging on me when I've got two little babies crawling on me. It's funny, I'll have Eve in my lap on a chair I sit in a lot, and she fits just perfectly. She's my 1-year-old. She's beautiful. And she fits perfectly on my crossed legs, and oftentimes I'll hide the remotes between my hip and the side of the chair, or maybe put my cell phone or my earbuds down there. Sometimes I won't, though, and whether I am hiding remotes and cell phones or not, she's always reaching back there looking for a cell phone that half the time's not even there. And I'll say, hey, honey, there's nothing there. There's nothing for you to reach for. She doesn't believe her father, and she'll keep reaching back and trying to grab at, I don't know what she's hoping for, more the remote control or the cell phone. She'd like either. It's funny because she's 1 and my son is 2.5. He has Down syndrome, and he's almost ready to he almost fully can understand the remote control, which is frightening, but he knows just enough to cause problems. He knows how to pause it. He knows how to fast forward. He knows how to complain when he's not getting what he wants, and he's very specific in his wants. And if we're not watching the right episode of Sesame Street, and I don't know, he gets mad and he starts acting like his teeth hurt or bumping his head in the table and acting like he's injured, and we'll have to change it, but then he'll grab the remote and he'll push pause and he'll get mad. It's the life of this stay-at-home dad, hence stay at home with Ken for anybody. And I think in a world of post-COVID world where a lot of us work from home, and a lot of us do our meetings via Zoom. And there's a lot of stay-at-home mom and dads out there, and a lot of retired people, a lot of people looking for some companionship and looking for some reality. I don't know. I think there's probably some demand for stay at home with Ken. At least I hope there is. And I know it feels good for me to do. And hopefully anybody watching enjoys it just a little bit. Cece says, I got a bet for you. Am I down for it? I mean, I'm probably not down for it, Cece. I used to like to gamble a lot, but I wouldn't. I mean, I used to like to gamble on blackjack. I was fairly specific on my what I like to gamble on. I used to have a gambling problem. I used to get picked up in limousines and flown to various places of gambling and put up in nice hotel rooms and invariably lose a lot of money. But losing a lot of money, I don't know. While it can be exciting, and in Las Vegas they'll bring you free Heinekens or what have you. I don't drink anymore either. I think it's pretty easy to, if you cut the head off the snake and stop drinking alcohol, it's pretty easy to stop doing a lot of the other vices that you might do that you do while drinking alcohol. But again, I stopped drinking about just over 2 years ago. And sometimes I still, 2 years later, I've gotten pretty good at keeping myself busy and entertaining myself. But still, sometimes I wonder, what do you do? You know, what do you do? We used to go out to bars, go out to dinners and drink, and go to friends' houses and drink, and go bowling and drink, or go golfing and drink, depending on the season. And I don't know, none of them are quite as fun since I've given up drinking. But life's better. Life's better. It's certainly different, and it's certainly not perfect, but it's better. So I'll have a little more coffee. To answer my own question of what I do, I pour myself into content creation. I work out a lot. I spend time with my kids a lot. I walk my dog Holly a lot. I try and work on myself a lot, try and get a little better every day. And I'm sure I don't get better every day, but I try. And I think if you are moving forward just the tiniest little bit every day, you look at yourself in the mirror in 5 years and you're going to like what you see. And although when I look in the mirror, I don't see a perfect human, I don't think I'm ever going to see that perfect human. I'm proud of the steps I've taken and feel good about the path I'm on. And I think that's all you can really ask. I thought I heard a baby crying upstairs. You know, I did a video. I did my thoughts from the gym yesterday. And I admitted, thank you, Mary. I admitted on the video that yesterday for breakfast I had 3 donuts. I'm kind of proud to admit that I wrapped one in saran wrap last night and put it up on their fridge, and it's still sitting here, and I have not eaten it. I have not eaten it. The theme for my video, my thoughts from the gym, is how bad do I want it? And I'm still not sure. I was talking about weight loss and how when I started working out 4.5 months ago, my goal was to lose 10 pounds. And although I've been consistent with my workouts and I've gotten a lot stronger and I'm in better shape, I really haven't lost a pound. I'm still about 218, which was where I was 4 or 5 months ago when I joined the gym. And the answer for that is real obvious. It's because I ate 3 donuts for breakfast yesterday. And I like sweets. And if I get started, I don't know, it's hard to stop. So it's better for me, and I've never been good at moderation in any aspect. It's better for me to avoid alcohol or sugar or what have you altogether. Because whatever I do, I tend to do a lot of it. And that's hard when you're trying to lose 10 pounds. And you got a bunch of good tasting sweets up in the cabinet. I know better than to dig in, although I would like to dig in. So I don't know how much I have for you today. Again, I try and hop on live a little bit every day and have a lot of fun doing it. I used to do it at 8 o'clock in the morning. Currently, I do it on days when I'm at home with the babies, when I lay them down for the nap. And that usually happens about 10 o'clock my time. I'll give you a quick view out our back window. Snow. I don't know. Like I said, probably 1.5 inches maybe of snow. and just enough to make the light or world look a little prettier. And yeah, so I'm enjoying it and feeling good and looking forward to my day. And I hope you're looking forward to your day as well. And I want to thank you guys so much for joining today on this Saturday. I really appreciate it. I have a lot of you do it this late for me, waking up late. Thank you. Jimmy, I do it for you. I do it for you, Jimmy. You're my man. I appreciate you from Pensacola, Florida, and that frigid 63 degrees you're living with today. But I so appreciate you guys for joining. I again post all these lives on YouTube and various other social media platforms. I appreciate you for following in my story, for following me on various social media platforms. Yeah, no, I hope you're feeling good on this January 6th, this Saturday in early January, early 2024. I hope you're feeling good. You got a great night's sleep. You're excited about the weekend. You're feeling good. You're loving yourself. You are forgiving yourself. And as always, I hope to talk to you soon. Bye-bye. There we are.